Ladies and gents, welcome back. The dairy lobby has been a formidable political force here in Canada for some time. As funny as that sounds, but they are the main reason for the supply shortages and the ongoing high prices of milk, dairy, cheese products in your supermarkets. And well, you would assume that the farmers would be benefiting from this, but they aren't. They actually are losing out largely because of the, well, economic trade restrictions imposed by the dairy lobby. And well, we have this one farmer finally standing up and saying something about it.
Hey guys, we're here at Huigen farm in southern Ontario. We milk about 260 cows. Right now during the winter months, you milk quite a bit more milk because the feed is very consistent. And as you do a good job, you will produce quite a bit of milk. So, but right now we're over our quota. It's regulated by the government and by the DFO. But the problem is what they don't understand is millions of people look at this milk running away because it's the end of the month. So I have to dump 30,000 liters of milk. It breaks my heart. I will show you. By the way, this here, Canadian milk, it's $7 a liter. When I go for my haircut, people say, wow, $7, Jerry, for a little bit of milk. I say, well, you have to go higher up because we have no say anymore as a dairy farmer on our own farm because they make us dump it. And no matter how we stand up, so this time I'm going public. I want the people to see the pain that us growers have of 365 days. As a little boy, we grew up on a dairy farm, came from Europe, work, and here we are. This is what's happening. Oh, by the way, only one country in the world here in Canada. There's not the United States, not Europe, where they dump thousands of liters when they're over. But we're not supposed to talk about this.
We keep hearing this, actually. I hate to interrupt his story, but we keep hearing this. Nowhere else in the world, when it comes to our medical system, nowhere else in the world do people have to wait and can't have a private option or go somewhere else for their services. Nowhere else in the world. We keep hearing this over and over again about our different industries here in Canada, not realizing how much control the government has over our industries here in our country. Anyway, I'll get back to his story.
Because I don't know. It's just one of those things. But as it's happening, I hope the DFO does look at this and says to themselves, you tell me, if you're in the pig business, the wood industry, any steel industry, if you're 10% over when your times are good, how can you, so for us when it's good, our little bit of profit, it goes down the drain. How you guys dare to put this product on the market for $7 a liter and think that that's okay when there's a lot of mothers, single mothers with no extra, like they have maybe a few kids to feed or whatever, or the sick kids hospital it could go to. It could go anywhere, to the food banks. But I hope you're proud, and I think you're going to be surprised, because yes, my name is Jerry Huigen, and I'm very proud that we send a really good product, and that you just kind of tell us, well, throw it down the drain. Nobody sees it. It's okay, but it's not okay. So, with that being said, it's one of the best products in the world. We've been milking here for 43 years. So I just hope that people will share this. I hope that I haven't defended anybody, but the dairy industry, for my kids, it has to keep growing. We're not growing, not even by 10%. We get a little bit of quota for free, okay, that gets given to us. Should never be that way. You should buy, just like a trucker has to buy his transport truck, okay? And by the way, my 90 cents that I get for my liter of raw milk, they really have to do nothing to it because it's the best milk in the world. But what happens is, I pay for the trucking, I pay for the commercialized, everything gets paid to the farmer, okay? So, but anyways, I do want to see, as you can see here, Abraham, the good product. The cows are happy. I mean, look at these cows, right? They are free roaming. she's got a smile. So anyhow, all I can say is I'm standing up a little bit for the local people. And I hope you think to yourself, hey, that farmer for 90 cents and they're paying $7, where does the extra money go? And they capped us. So I can't grow my business at all. What am I going to tell my 4 kids? Hey, how do you want me to do it? Since 3 years ago, they capped it. We're going to go 6% higher, like 6%. We're looking at high interest rate. The double, 3 times over on fuel. We are not going to stay in business in this country. So Justin Trudeau and Rob Ford, I'd love to take you for dinner, okay? Call me, sit down with Huigen Bros Farm, and I think shit like this, we have so much poverty over the whole world. Hard-working people like myself, I dare to say that, 7 days a week as a little boy. I have looked at farm workers. They cannot, they're sick to this. Mr. Huigen, what are you doing? I says, well, at the end of the month, I have to dump all my milk. You're supposed to keep it quiet. Take that to the bank.
Yeah, take that to the bank. National Post reposting this video, and I'll leave a link in the description down below where you can check it out. But we're all looking for an explanation for why is this the case. So let's look into it. Here's an article from nexusnewsfeed.com saying Canadian farmers forced to dump 30,000 liters of milk as dairy prices surge. As he was explaining, $7 a liter for milk, and the lobby is telling him, no, you have to dump it down the drain. Because why? Well, okay. Well, here the article goes into why it happens a lot in the United States. The reasons are different in Canada than the United States, but they both stem from the highly regulated nature of the marketplace. In the United States, the primary regulations are high level price fixing, bans on selling unpasteurized milk, which means farmers have to dump their product if dairy producers don't buy it, and price gouging laws that prevent retailers from increasing their prices when demand is low, which incentivizes hoarding. In Canada, the regulations are even worse. While price fixing schemes for milk in the US is incredibly complicated and leaves much to be desired, there's an old industrial adage that says only 5 people in the world know how the milk is produced in the US and 4 of them are dead. In Canada, the price is determined by a single bureaucracy, the Canadian Dairy Commission. The Ottawa-based commission, technically a Government of Canada Crown Corporation. Let's not forget this. This is run by the government, which it's a lobby group run and owned by the government for the government. It's, yeah, complicated, gross, greasy, which oversees Canada's entire dairy system, known as supply management. Where do we ever hear something like that? I don't know, people running around carrying pictures of Chairman Mao, perhaps. Raised prices 3 times in 2022, citing the rising cost of production. Well, it costs a lot of money to throw milk down the drain by the tune of 30,000 liters in one farm alone. Food price inflation remains a serious issue in Canada, but the problem is particularly acute in regards to dairy productions, which has seen their annual inflation rate triple over the past year to almost 12%. One needn't have a PhD in economics to see why prices in Canada are surging, ordering farmers to destroy tens of thousands of liters of perfectly good milk is hardly a solution to rising prices. The same goes for production quotas. And this is where I think this article nails it absolutely, because it was really back in the 1930s during the Great Depression. It would have been a recession, a pretty big recession. There was, I think, 2-3 other recessions previous to this during the boom bust cycle of the roaring 20s, the 1910s. But it was particularly government intervention that caused a recession to turn into a 10-year-long Great Depression. Canada's milk dumping spectacle calls to mind FDR's, that's Franklin Delano Roosevelt's New Deal debacles, including the 1933 emergency hog slaughter, which saw American farmers ordered to destroy their own pigs in an attempt to raise the price of hogs. Again, This is at a time where unemployment was rampant. People were starving. People were running out of options for food, housing, all of this. And the government was ordering farmers to destroy food products to for the added benefit of, well, if there's less products, then they'll be more expensive for the farmers to make more money. I'm not kidding. This is their logic. This is what they were thinking. And this is what they're still thinking today. Under the Agricultural Adjustment Act, the AAA, the federal government levied new taxes on agricultural sector and used the funds to oversee the wholesale destruction of cattle and crops. Federal agents oversaw the ugly spectacle of perfectly good fields of cotton, wheat, and corn being plowed under. Healthy cattle, sheep, and pigs by the millions were slaughtered and buried in mass graves, explained FEE President Emeritus Lawrence Reed. This destruction took place, mind you, during the worst food crisis in American history. This is the economic theories of these political elites. They think they're doing people a service. But if it sounds backwards to you, it absolutely is. It absolutely is. This might not seem like economic madness. This might seem like economic madness, and it is. So why does it persist? Well, it's the old-fashioned protectionism. It's this idea of having tariffs for producers. It'll help the producers and it'll help the economy writ large. Well, I'll tell you what, it doesn't. It doesn't help the producers and it doesn't help them. Who does it help? Well, it ends up helping the lobby group, and that's it. That's it. And it helps the government by collecting tariffs, and they're very happy to do that. They're happy to collect those taxes and tariffs, and that's what they do best. Now, this isn't a new phenomenon. Here's an article from 2020 talking about why Canada's dairy farmers are dumping milk despite food supply issues in COVID-19. They were doing it then, and people were asking the question, why are we doing this? COVID-19's happening and there's food shortages. People have less money right now. Why don't we get more of that milk to market? Nope. That's not something they had in their purview. Here we go. This is all the way back to 2015. Why is the dairy lobby so powerful? Dairy farmers were majority players in the Trans-Pacific Partnership talks, which thankfully people raising their voices got to stop. They put an end to the Trans-Pacific Partnership, the TPP. People would have known that for short. Largely to do with Donald Trump becoming president of the United States. He ended those talks altogether, which would have largely benefited giant corporations with the trade across the Pacific, from Canada, United States, Mexico into Asian countries on the other side, largely, again, moving jobs over to places where people could have cheaper labor and benefiting, again, corporations and not benefiting consumers at all. But I'll leave a link in the description for those articles themselves. But here's one from Harvard International Review. And starting right with a picture of Andrew Scheer taking a swig of milk right out of the carton. Canada's dairy lobby, the shocking, powerful Big Milk. Now, the article goes on to explain a lot about the dairy lobby itself. Again, I'll leave a link in the description. You can go over the whole thing yourself. But here's the Minister of Agriculture, Huigen, greeted by Canadian dairy farmers protesters in 1976. This has been going on for, again, some time. If he looks like an old mafioso, that may not be a coincidence. Milking the political system. Supply management, however, is not an equitable solution. Deep pockets of Canadian dairy lobby have entrenched it into the structure of Canada's economy and politics. The lobby presence in the nation's capital is strong, perhaps the strongest of any lobby in Canada. As such, it is no surprise that they have found significant ease in cozying up with Ottawa's most influential and political elite. The lobby has infiltrated the ideology of Canada's 4 major political parties, cementing supply management and the Canadian Dairy Commission into all of their election platforms, despite otherwise contrasting views. Off the campaign trail, parties remain stalwart supporters in nearly all the lobby stands for. There rarely is a week that a member of parliament does not stand before the legislature and praise supply management. Even Canada's furthest left-leaning party, the New Democratic Party, which touts itself for profit, people over profit, and its leader Jagmeet Singh pledged to protect supply management and stand up against unfair tariffs during the most recent election campaign, while at the same time an academic journal resurfaced and made headlines declaring that supply management unnecessarily cost the average Canadian household an extra $444 annually. And of course, Jagmeet Singh is going to go after big grocery and those CEO salaries that cost Canadian families mere pennies annually. So this is a giant lobby, and this is a little taste into where it's actually leading. But this video is going too long, so I'm going to cut it here. Leave a comment in the comment section down below. Let me know what you think of the whole situation with the dairy lobby dumping food product that could be going to food banks or just people in general, lowering the price of food for all of us. Let me know what you think. We'll see you in the next one. Keep on trucking.